Hello everybody, today we're looking at another game from Scorpion is Love, Stan, Rebaron, and suddenly we flipped the board around so red is on the bottom. We're looking specifically we're specifically looking mostly at Stan's game, especially in the later stages. We'll take a look at both boards as we go, but it's going to be a lot to talk about and I'm going to miss things, period. But we're going to be looking at a couple use cases and scenarios and how to fix them on boards that have occurred. I believe this is such a weird start setup. Whether it stays that way or not, I'm not sure. Other opponent started with steel balls as well. I wasn't sure if it was arc lights, but I guess arc lights, there'd be 3 of them. Scorpion is Love here, setting up on the right side of the board. Opponent spreading the board. Such a weird spread. It brings it all to the left here. This is actually one of the few boards that beats this, I believe. Is the Crawler ball pack. It does beat this most of the time, especially with the Hound mirror. It just depends on whether or not your positioning is sufficient enough, right? Anyway, it looks like these guys in the middle here are going to do a lot of work. We'll take a look at this left side, see how this board develops. Crawlers are getting in on some of the steel balls, but a lot of crawlers still, whole pack still left. We barely have a pack surviving at this point on our own board. And the steel balls are going to be getting in and clearing out the board. On the right side, though, it looks like a tarantula has already died, but there's a lot of fangs for them to go feed through. But with the tower down, this might prove a loss for our right side. This side has already been demolished by the steel ball crawler. With the tarantula alive and a sniper shot, we should be able to clear that. We'll not be able to clear all of this, though, but might be able to clear... Yeah, we'll be able to clear everything that their counterpart has, but not the extra opponent this early on. So a tempo lead for Rebaron, and suddenly actually doing very well. If 2 more steel balls had died on this left side here, this would be a much different start, but that is not what happened. And we'll move on to round 2. Round 2 with, I hate that we can't see what the units are. Wraith was offered, which probably means Phoenix and something else was offered as well. I would assume Void Eye would be an option this early. And potentially level 2 Fangs being round 2. 2 level 2 Fangs is always a card that comes up that you should never pick. Farseer was an option. It was picked. We're mirroring our Wraiths on this side of the board. Obviously not in the same positioning. 2 more crawlers come out. We picked up a crawler, I believe, this round, and we placed a Fang in the front. So that's the change there. Level 2 crawler in the back was leveled. Our teammate takes 2 units here and a farseer. Unfortunately, there is no chaff. Oh, does not place the marksman here. Instead decides to level. That was probably mass recruit. We take the defense buff. Opponent buys Fangs as well and puts them right on the line. Very interesting. I would have personally, I guess crawlers would be better. This just seems like a waste. You're just asking to feed, I think, with that. And places a crawler in the back, which we place a crawler in the back to deal with. Unfortunately for our teammate, they are going to get steel balled in the front here. Let's see how this goes this time for us on the left here. We do beat the back left corner. Our left side is falling fast, but our right side seems relatively strong. But with all this going to the tower and these guys going to the tower, it's going to definitely be a loss for us. We'll see how our teammate's doing on the right side here, if he's able to clear everything out. Without the tarantula, though, going through the rest of these crawlers and fangs to get to this Wraith is probably not going to happen. And it looks like our opponents are doing well with the tempo. knocking us out of a comfortable position. But we are playing 2v2 and both of us have very high HP boards, so this game could go for a while. We take redeploy. The Baron decides to take the item. We're free, so 50 cost difference, but only stay on one unit. Both of us take the redeploy. Ah, that makes sense. He's just going to stick it on the Wraith and move it around. We ended up selling our sabers because they're just feeding steel balls at this point in the game, and we don't want to be doing that. Opponent drops another missile. Opponent loves their missiles. We do take degen this turn. I believe we're going to be moving this guy here this turn. I'm not sure if we move something else with that move or if we just haven't done it yet on Stan. We ended up dropping a Sabertooth. Why did we drop a Sabertooth? Why did we drop a Sabertooth? Oh, we moved the Sabertooth. We moved the Sabertooth from here. We sold the Sabertooth. So we sold one. We moved one to here. And that's why we don't have the redeploy available. Opponent, again, more chaff on the board. Makes sense. And that's our missile, not opponent's. There's opponent's missile. So we'll see how this goes this turn with the degen on. Everything's being affected by the degen at this moment on opponent's board. Whether or not this ends up being beneficial for us or not as Stan, we are clearing out the crawlers in the back. The only question is, do we have enough damage to take out the other wraiths? And it looks like we're actually dealing quite a lot of damage to them already. So it looks like we should be able to clear them both out. And the towers in the middle, while they do fall, they delayed and long enough that both of the wraiths survive. And the degen won't affect Stan so much or our other teammates' board at the moment. And with the farseer and the marksman, this should be a clear, easy win. Finally recovering by round 3. Not much of a recovery. It's a very temporary one. Pause. Let's see. Subsidized steel ball immediately picked up by Stan right here on this side of the board. Makes sense. Ball Wraith into Ball Wraith. It makes sense. That's what you want to do. Takes a farseer and immediately clicks photon and then declines the idea. Picks up Wraith, decides to mirror us with an extra Wraith. So it looks like our Stan should be losing another round here. Just 3 Wraiths versus 2 plus a farseer. Just probably a little bit too much for us to deal with on the board. We did get a level on our Wraith right here. This one got a level. So it's level 2, so it might do a little bit better, but degen doesn't get stronger as you go on with the levels. Reduces everything by 40% movement speed, attack by 20, and take an additional 30% damage. So you can almost say their units are at 70% HP. Rather than 100. Even though that's technically not what is happening, is they take 30% more damage from units. With the farseer and the race with degen, obviously in the mirror, the person with more of the units that do better chaff clear wins. And obviously the farseer does a lot of work as well. Our teammate got completely smashed on the right side. I'm not sure what the change was. It looks like steel ball range was the choice. round 5 card. Haste module was picked up by both. We're very mirrored here. We end up taking range and an extra Wraith and an extra steel ball. I hope we have enough for this level here. If not, that's very unfortunate. We put the haste on it, so we must be leveling it. At least in my opinion. I think haste on the farseer is a terrible choice with the 6-second reload time just to get a 5% buff from the haste module. Attacks movement speed increased by 5 and attack is increased by 35. So there's not even an attack speed buff. It's just a pure damage buff on this unit. I really don't think it's as valuable as on the Wraith, personally. Yeah, opponent ends up putting another Wraith down as his teammate moves the Wraith all the way over here. Our teammate decides to go for Scorch on Vulcan instead of Tarantula. I think an interesting choice, but is going to suffer to the steel ball. With range, at least. So with the range, we're hoping that we target things a little bit quicker as they move into our degen beam. And it appears we are winning everything but the farseers. Oh, we're getting one of the farseers out. That's big. Whether or not we get the one on the left is a question mark at the moment. It looks like we will eventually get it, whether or not the haste module is enough. It is. So we end up winning with everything on our side. Opponent ends up losing to a lot of fire on the board and some Vulcans. And we actually gained another level here on our Wraith. So one of the things that we need to be thinking about as a ball and Wraith player here is Photon in some way, whether that's from Boat or Farseer itself. We take the mech div this turn though, but we're kind of at that point where we got to be thinking about, well, for the longevity of our board, we just want more HP, and Photon is a very good thing for that. We do Elite Recruit an extra steel ball, and we click speed this time. Might be a bit of a throw clicking speed with Wraith on the board. Opponent does take level 2 triple recruited sledges and clicks field maintenance on them to slow down our steel balls, though our damage really is coming from our Wraiths, so it's a good choice. I won't knock it. It makes sense, but it's also a defensive measure when you're playing a headbutt, so I don't know if it's strictly good, let's say that way, at least. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's moving around some units, repositioning them more appropriately. Big problem with our board is we really don't have anything on the line, and the reason that's a problem, or not a problem in some ways, is because the Farseers are going to be looking and sniping our Wraiths a little bit quicker, and the oil here is definitely going to help secure that for our opponent on the next turn if they click AA on their Farseers. Though this turn doesn't do much just because of the fall of time, and it's not there on the ground stopping the steel balls from the very beginning of the round. From the looks of it though, it is going relatively okay, though we look like we are completely out of chaff at this point, which means these Farseers are going to be doing some work to our Wraiths while we are still stuck killing these sledgehammers. Opponent does break through on the left there. It is going to be a problem for the board. That is why the haste module is there. We wanted that power to really punch through that left side. It looks like we might be able to clear out some of the Farseer, and the Farseer just shot, so it's going to take a couple seconds, but with the debuff there, it's going to clear out those Wraiths without much of a problem. We get the debuff back as well, so we will only lose one of these Wraiths. Not even on that volley. Hopefully, yeah, we start dealing damage again because we got the second debuff first. And we end up winning the round due to some lucky tower timings on round 6 here. And it looks like our teammate is losing. The only thing we have to worry about is a unteched Wraith with a level 1 Wraith with range and degen. Whether or not we win, I guess there are the Typhoons as well. Really depends on how quickly we can clear out some of these units before they get to us. And it looks like it's not going to be sufficient. We might get some kills here, but it looks like we probably won't kill everything on the board with the 3 Typhoons and the Wraith hitting our Wraith. If it was a level 2 Wraith, we might have a chance, but it looks like we're probably not going to come out. Maybe we can kill some of the steel balls, but clearly not even 2. We only ended up killing 1. Very unfortunate for us on that round to limit some of the damage. We have 3 Wraiths ready to be leveled up, though, on round 7 here. We take the Sandworm. I think the Sandworm, just HP-wise, is probably the most value. I don't know if it's very good. Maybe in general, maybe it should be an immediate sell. I'm not really sure here. But we really need to be thinking about Photon here. I think Photon Boat is very important, especially after seeing this. After this round, we should definitely be thinking Photon is our #1 priority. As when our Wraiths hit this, they'll be disabled, except for this one here, the one with the anti-interference module, which prevents the paralysis effect from Electromag, and I believe that's electromagnetic armor. So that's the general idea behind it. Can you imagine a Rhino with electromagnetic armor? Oh, cursed. Anyway, we drop a missile here because we know it's going to hit these steel balls, and he's very clumped up, and he's spread out some fangs in that on the board relatively well. We did not level up this Wraith, which I think we should be doing, but maybe we didn't have enough with the worm drop. Our teammate's opponent is going for a worm wasp on this side of the board, and nothing special's happening over here. Still refusing to get range on the volcanoes, the Vulcans. I feel like they should have range by now, but we have opted for hacker at this point. Again, only 3 hackers on the board. We could probably be looking for more here. With the 8 gun coming out, we are clearing shaft very quickly, but we are being stuck in this oil here, but we are killing the opponent's Wraiths very quickly. But the main problem is, as we mentioned last time, these sledges and farseers. But we do end up taking out almost everything on the board, except for the 1 farseer on the left. Does not get the kill with the 1 volley. We get the kill, but we are losing towers, and it looks like we're going to lose this level 1 Wraith again. Oh, but we get a tower debuff, but there isn't much on this our counter parts board. Our teammate lost their side, probably just due to steel ball plus range plus suck. Not enough hacking going on yet on the board. We haven't reached critical mass. We'll see how this goes. We'll clear most things, but whether or not we get this, we get it down for sure. It looks like we're going to be taking this round with our Wraiths. First real damage done to our opponents in a while. Actually, it might be just because the HP bars might be a little bugged. We take a intensive training here. I feel like that might be a little late for intensive. We take range and speed. We should be 100% seeing this and saying, hey, we need Photon. And instead I double recruit Steel Ball and intensify this guy, and we drop a missile here. Our opponent hasn't done anything in particular yet. As advanced missile device, we have subsidized ball. We had, or no, we're over here. We're fortified, subsidized ball, and our counterpart is advanced missile, haste. Lots of missiles out by both players. We finally got some crawlers in front of our board from earlier. AA comes out on the farseers, so now the board is very hard to deal with. But again, we're ignoring photon when there is EM that our wraiths could be hitting, which could become a problem. And when we do hit those EMs with, say, even our steel balls, we lose the chance to mech div, which is kind of important for us, especially with wraiths that aren't leveled. We just need more targets, or I shouldn't say wraiths without levels. I should be saying wraiths with few techs, because 8-gun is not on, so it makes mech div a little bit better, because you're summoning more units for the wraiths to choose to target lock. Well, anyway, we'll see how the round goes. We'll see techs being turned off on some of our wraiths periodically until they come back on after 2 seconds after the Void Eyes are killed or hit. Our Wraith in the middle with the AM device is now dead due to the Farseers, and this round just looks absolutely awful for us. Those Void Eyes actually doing a lot for our opponent, forcing our Wraiths to walk about a little bit forward for 2 seconds is enough to make this round very devastating. All we need is 2,000 damage. Either side, this could happen at any point. Unfortunately, our teammate does not have much upshoot for these wasps on the board, though we are going to start hacking things. Sadly, we get a big hack there. Do we get more good hacks? Here's another hack for us. Both go down. Hacker's still on the board. The steel ball's in the back doing some work. Well, we were hacking, and we do end up taking the round due to the hackers being great play, overwhelming numbers of hackers, just enough to deal some damage. Now they're sub 1000 HP. I have to be finding photon here. I'm not sure what else is a solution here. I'm sure there are multiple solutions on the board at this point. We end up buying our boats and we click photon. Something we should have probably done last round, but we ended up doing this round. We end up selling the worm. Maybe we are supposed to keep the worm with the boats. I'm not sure if keeping the worm is the right choice or not at this moment. Anyway, we go range and speed. Maybe speed is a bit of a throw, and we buy a couple anti-missile devices to maybe catch a couple missiles from these farseers, because he was killing in the middle on this one farseer on our board, and that is a bit of a problem for us. It is the most forward farseer as well, so it's probably going to be the one that locks on first. Opponent also clicks photon, which is very good by them. Makes our degen completely useless for the most part. But the thing is, he's not really photoning anything here, so the left side is pretty strong for us, but everything in the middle is on even ground, and this degen means absolutely nothing. So I think the anti-missile device is a good idea. I don't know if anti-missile devices are the way you want to be doing it. Maybe it's a Mustang with AM. And I also believe last round was the round you needed photon, and with photon on the opponent's board, it's just a wash. And last round was a wash in the sense, not a wash, maybe a tie or equal. So it's kind of one of those things where neither side gets an advantage, and because the other side won last time, the advantage is nullified. So I believe we end up losing with the photon here, just because the opponent has photon as well. Maybe the photon, yeah, we got some degen, but we're getting disabled teched on the right there. We didn't actually clear all the Void Eyes. Even on the left, far left there, we're getting hit. Board almost looks salvageable, but we end up just barely losing to 2 farseers here. And our teammate is just getting smothered on the board here. And it looks like that's going to be the game. I don't think we have enough hacking ability. We still have a farseer on the board. I thought they were both dead. We're burning in the fire. Oh, we're no longer burning in the fire. Maybe we clear this, but do we clear this? Well, maybe we do. Maybe we survive another round. I don't know how many worms are there. Yeah, we do survive another round. Right. Because that's only, what, like 1,000 HP? Not even? Yeah, 1,000 HP, 900. We go one more round. So what is the solution on this round here? I believe we could have won the round, won the game on the last round with some better anti-missile instead of photon. But on round 8, I believe we win the game with photon. So it's a interesting thing. We'll go back and test those as well. Oh, that is the game? Something must have changed. Because there must be some RNG here. I'm pretty sure we lost the game here. Unless there's been some changes in patch in the last couple hours. I need to see this again. I'm so confused. Is there not another round? I'm very confused. I'm pretty sure we lost this. There must be some weird RNG difference that's happening on the board on why we won or lost. I just want to see if the same outcome happens again. Because the game just ends there. And I know the bottom board loses this round. Yeah, even this time, way different. So there is yeah, this is what I remember happening. So there is some RNG here on this board where I didn't want to return to lobby. That was this game. There's some RNG, I guess, on the board with those farseers where actually potentially we can win that, which is very unfortunate to see in the replay like that, because that just means we lost to RNG. Very weird. Anyway, there was a couple things I want to look at. One was round 8, I believe. We need to spin the board around. We're going to hide. We're going to play a stand. So, as I was saying, Photon was kind of one of those big things, and we waited a very long time for it. Oh, actually, can we restart? Try this round again? Yes, thank you. We're going to do something a little differently. We're going to actually assess the board a little more appropriately. So if we look back here, there's nothing back here. So we're going to pick the Rhino. Right? Makes sense. Makes sense. I hope everybody can agree with that. Logic. There's nothing back here. Neither of us have played back here. Both of us are exposed. Both players should be going for it. Okay. So next, we're going to be leveling this. We're going to be selling our worm, and we're going to be buying 2 boats. Oh, we cannot buy our 2 boats. We cannot level up everything. So we need to decide what's getting leveled. Alright, so let's sell. Let's do this. Let's get our 2 boats. Let's click Photon. Let's click this in range. And we're going to level up 1. We're going to level up 2. And we will level up 3. And we will place our boats as so. Sadly, the boats do not hit each other, but I am more worried about making sure everything gets a little bit. We're going to move this guy just back a little bit because I don't want him to get... I do want him to get shot first, but if I can make this Wraith move forward, I will. All right, so we'll go with this. We needed about, what was it, 1700 HP to kill? I mean, we can go back and look at what actual HP is on round 8. This is round 8, by the way. So this is the small difference on the board is instead of whatever we did, we're taking Photon Boat and we're dropping a Rhino in the back instead of taking Intensive Training. So we'll see how this goes this time. We're going to guarantee a very early tower. Our opponent does not defend it. We do lose our Wraith in the middle here, but with the tower debuff, we should be cleaning up fairly well, I would assume. Especially with our right there, right in the front lines. This time we are green instead of red. And because we're able to hold on and kill a lot of these wasps on this side, our teammate is able to hack, and we easily have 1700 on our side of the board easily, and it's over almost 4k win. Okay, back to watch replay. So that was almost 4,000 damage. They only have 2,300, so we could have won there. Round 9 we can look at again. We're gonna play as Stan again, and we'll show another way to win this board. I believe this time it's going to be the anti-missile. I believe Photon at this point is not useful. All these are Garbo. You can get away with smoke, I suppose. We are mostly worried about these two farseers in the front. Do we shield here? Sure, why not? Protect a little bit. We want range. We can double down with that. We can click one more, and I believe we want to click range on this as well. And we'll do the same thing with this crawler. We'll just line him up so he's nice and even, and we'll move on. So this is the other idea that I had for this board. Not as efficient, but we do help out our teammate to clear out everything here. This is also round 9, by the way. And it looks like our teammate's going to get the hacks this time, just because we're able to allow this hacker here to not focus on everything in the front here as much, because our... I don't know why on the left side it's not. Yeah, either way, we help by... putting less pressure in the middle here for our teammate, which does help us win the board. Round 9 is, I think we said it was 2,000, so we survive. 1,400, 1,440 was approximately what it was, which is enough to kill. So those are two solutions to this board on the left here that were misplayed by ourselves on Stan here. And just a couple of things. Photon is good, but you need to get it out early enough where it actually affects your board. Anyway, thanks for watching. Happy to see you in the next game.